Hello, guys. Welcome to the fourth podcast of Mind Makers. We're doing this. This is our special podcast analyzing the Delhi elections, as we told in the third podcast. The results were for all to see. It was a crushing defeat for the BJP and the Congress, and the Aam Aadmi Party won a spectacular mandate in Delhi. 67 out of 70 seats. Although people in Delhi who are tuning in, I just wanted to ask if you're all hearing this over the free Wi-Fi that Arvind Kejriwal has promised.
I suppose that is only for 30 minutes in select places.
So in that case, you won't be able to download.
And since you are not government, they cannot hear it because I suppose it's only the government website.
Well, I guess write to your dear Chief Minister to at least so that you can listen to our website over the Wi-Fi. But that being said, this is on a lighter note. It's been 2 days. It's been 2 days since the results, and they have been analyzed to death, over-analyzed, if I may say, in TV studios.
For a municipal election, it has been analyzed.
And mind you, this is coming from a Delhi resident, Sunanda. So with me, as always, is Sunanda Vashisht and Pramod Kumar Borawali, and we're going to try and make sense of the Delhi elections and talk about few issues. What's the impact of the Delhi elections, or is there a national picture that actually exists, or are the news media trying to extrapolate a trend that isn't developing? Because we did see today that in the Assam local body elections, the BJP swept, and this is a state where BJP only has 5 MLAs, but it performed spectacularly well in 2014, getting about 7 MPs, I think. And so this is indicative of a trend that next year when Assam goes to polls, BJP is a serious contender and it's the leading party. So all these this theories about the Modi wave ebbing, or whether they hold or not,
or this whole concept that if there is a straight fight between the BJP and the Congress is weak, then the natural party to kind of try to occupy that space is the AAP, is a myth in the making. This is a story.
And mind you, there is another theory being propagated also, that when BJP and Congress are in a fight, the National Congress votes go to the BJP. There is Assam Gana Parishad also in the fight, who has taken up issues of illegal immigration and all, but AGP is not getting any votes. And AGP
the problem is, as this phrase has become pretty popular and our listeners will know it, there is tyranny of distance with Assam. Right. So people don't get to see Assam as clearly as
the 60 seconds that we discussed on Assam is probably the most you will ever hear on discussion on any form of media. People are still focusing on Delhi. But coming back to the Delhi elections, we'll first talk about the Delhi elections and then talk about the national picture of it.
Since we're talking about the Delhi elections, and Adit, I know you're fascinated with numbers, and you had even given a prediction in our first website
It was the most horrible, unscientific prediction that I've ever given. Usually,
let me tell you this: you're not the only person wrong. All exit polls got it wrong, even if they had said AAP is going to come out with a majority.
No, but I was seeing the difference between the vote percentages. Some of them, C-voter had 3% difference.
I think most AAP they had said AAP would get was about 50 seats
53,
or so.
That was only one exit poll.
That
Chanakya said 48.
48, and I think Yogendra Yadav himself had said 51 or something.
And we must compliment him for getting it right.
Yeah, we must compliment him for getting it, well, not quite right.
Well, I mean, he said that the maximum Aam Aadmi Party would hit could be about 57. So,
Actually, it's an interesting thing. I heard that today that in their internal survey, they had given about 13 or 14 to BJP, and they had given 0 to Congress. So that much was pretty close.
I guess that was a unanimous thing that Congress was at 0.
No, it wasn't unanimous. Honest thing, I did not think Congress will end up with 0 seats. I thought they would win at least, I'll tell you the seats that I had thought they would win. I thought they would win Shoaib Iqbal's seat. I thought they would win Okhla, right. And I thought they would win one more seat. So I had given them about 3 to 5. But Adit, since you are fascinated with numbers and you take psephology pretty seriously, even though you don't get it right, can you walk us through the numbers and vote shares and everything?
Especially the most puzzling constituencies.
Yeah, Krishnanagar, for example, is a very puzzling constituency
to give a generic picture, one of the theory was that BJP retained its vote base, which it did. It still got about 32.9%, a little bit higher than what they had gotten last year. But what was puzzling to me is if they would have retained their core base, then they would have won in the constituencies that they had been winning in the last 15-20 years. Then it would have been probably small clusters where BJP would have gotten what they were getting. in 2008, in 2003, or in December 2013.
How much is that percentage? the regular
Well, I mean,
dedicated
it's
vote share
really
that-
difficult to say because that depends on the margin. You know, some seats you win
No,
by
at least in these safe seats.
in the safe seats, I would be about 10 to 12 at least safe seats. So you can roughly say about 10 to 12%, maybe a little more than that.
On top of what they got.
No. I'm saying in general, you know, how much that constitute from the.
No, just for the listeners, can you elaborate what a safe seat is in BJP's?
Well, a
Or
safe
many
seat that I would define is something like a Krishnanagar or Janakpuri or something. It's seats where BJP had not lost in the last
30 years or so.
well 15 years, you
15
know,
years.
because they had lost once.
And the vote share is about 35%? Is that?
35, yeah, 40. Harshvardhan won by a comfortable margin last time in Krishna. He's been winning since 98, you know, in that seat. And I mean, since the historic.
And isn't Krishnanagar supposed to be RSS stronghold?
That, I mean, you know, really, you can't really say. I mean, the RSS network is pretty strong around Delhi or something. But this is more than this verdict is not really because of the carders. You can't really pinpoint to one thing, one specific reason for this verdict. And that's what I'm coming to. So if BJP would have done as it did last time, you would expect them to at least hold on to 10 or 12 seats. What's happened is they've come like a second place in a lot of seats and they've gained probably some votes there. And you know, that's so it's been like a uniform second, except
So
for 3
what
seats.
is the difference between a washout and a defeat? A defeat scenario would be 30, 35 and 5 to Congress. That would have been a defeat. But a washout is when you get 67
Well, it's-
and
It's not just that, okay,
and
let's-
you lose Krishnanagar, you lose
let's
all
not
your strong
forget-
points.
Arit, again, for the sake of a listener who does not understand psephology, have you analyzed what these seats are, where they came second, and with how much margin they lost?
Some of the-
Is that what Sunanda ji is?
No, I think Sunanda's point was probably about a two-party system. In a two-party system, in a first past the post system, where two parties are in contention, what happens? Let's not forget in Gujarat in 2012 and 27, the difference between, especially in 2012, was roughly about 8 to 10% between BJP and Congress. But BJP still ended up with 2/3 of the seats.
Yeah.
Okay, in the first past the post system, that's how it works. So even though you had BJP having 34%, the difference was 20%.
Yeah.
In the first past the post system, that is a landslide, and that's exactly
Exactly
what
what
you saw.
happened.
You know, so and there are theories that Congress vote transferred to Aam Aadmi Party or something.
No, there aren't theories. It's a fact.
But
Congress
it's a fact,
votes, it's
absolutely.
a fact.
But there is a certain amount of vote that should have come to the BJP as well,
And
which it did not.
Akali Dal wins about 1 or 2 seats in Delhi. That didn't happen this time. BSP would have won about 1 in Congress regime in this thing. That didn't happen
Well,
either.
what you saw was-
so entire non-BJP vote share, which was spread between Congress and BSP and say JDU, that entire vote share got
But there is
transferred to.
Yeah, but there is nothing illegitimate about it.
No, nothing illegitimate. That's how it
That's
is.
how the
It's a fair. That's how
the
it is.
game works. In UP, with 42% vote share, you got 90% of the seats.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in knowing over a period of time is all the promises that were made, and in the specifically the Juggi Jopadi crowd that has transferred its vote en masse, irrespective of what community they belong to.
Yes.
What kind of influence there has been on these promises made? The water, the free electricity, and all that. Maybe you should analyze that over a period of time. Maybe shortly in the next 2 or 3 days, as soon as the app fails to deliver on its.
2 or 3
2
days.
or 3 days.
What would that mean hours? No, I'm kidding. I mean, you know, this is, I mean, jokes apart, this has been a crushing defeat. And let's not make no mistake, this was a pro Aam Aadmi Party vote to a certain extent as well. You know, now why it was so, that's what we want to talk about. And I mean, that's what I want to you guys to know, tell me as well, you know, that we have seen so many reasons. I mean, my goodness, the amount of reasons that I saw, I didn't even see that many reasons after the Lok Sabha win.
No, the reason
given
that
to
happened was
why
all
BJP
these,
win.
no, all these op-eds were reserved for 2014 when BJP was supposed to not do that well or lose or something. All those op-eds came out now.
These were written, like Siddharth Vadrajan's piece was probably written
In 2000.
on the 2 or 3 weeks he spent nightless weeks after Modi's swearing
Modi's
in.
swearing
He
in,
was just
yes.
willing to send it. It was in the draft folder.
Yeah, all these op-eds were ready to be sent. So
Yeah.
I am not worried about those op-eds.
But one of the reasons why I believe they they took a bargain with projecting Kiran Bedi, and also there was no time for that face to be able to go and campaign extensively and also show as a credible alternative. The people wanted to know how she thought. She was just completely not trained to address certain ideological issues, which is why I feel constantly a little bit of skepticism, in terms of their promises, because their whole structure is devoid of any ideology. They do not have any specific economic plan. They are
No, but you're talking about the Aam Aadmi Party. I want to bring
You mean
back
Aam
to-
Aadmi does not have any economic plan? Aam Aadmi does have economic plan, the same as
which is a disaster.
Disaster. The communists have.
Yeah.
No, that is the plan, because
Yeah, the disaster is the plan.
No, but
But they also have a
we'll come
disaster
that to
management
part
plan.
two. No, we'll come to that in part two when we analyze what is the government of the Aam Aadmi Party
Going to
going to
go
be
to
like.
like.
What I want to come back is why BJP lost.
I will, to my mind, I have gone through
And so
almost
badly.
every written piece that has been written about it, and I have analyzed it with the conversations I've had with Dilliwalas, and the first and foremost thing that comes across is incompetence. There was severe incompetence by Delhi BJP and BJP leadership. They just did not get it right till the very last minute. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party have been working on this since 2014 elections, and since they lost all their seats in this thing, Aam Aadmi Party has been concentrating in Delhi since then. BJP, on the other hand, got complacent. They thought we defeated them, they are not going to make a comeback. But Arvind Kejriwal has proved to be the ultimate comeback kid. Whether we like it or not, that is the fact.
What would you agree with that?
No, I disagree with that partly, because complacency is not what.
No.
the only.
Do you agree with the incompetence part?
Partly.
Yes,
because-
strategy was very flawed.
No,
I think they were
partly
called
because-
sleeping.
No, everybody sleeps 8 hours a day. I'll tell you.
They slept 16 hours in Delhi, I can tell you that much.
I'll tell you, the biggest problem is the 15 years of Sheila Dikshit rule, there was never a credible local face that was either developed or was given a chance to develop. It was like a lonely branch office that is still close to the headquarters, but then it never got the kind of attention, number one. You see that across the pan-India, you have local, at least 2 or 3 leaders per state that are visible. You don't see that.
That is happening in
You don't have
Delhi.
anybody in Delhi. You had Dr. Harshvardhan, who was there briefly as the face, and then all of a sudden you have Kiran Bedi, who had no time whatsoever to be.
And she was not a BJP member. I mean, I have to say this to my listeners. I wrote a piece about Kiran Bedi and the way she was attacked, and I still stand by my piece. I thought Kiran Bedi was a great candidate, but she just did not have the time to understand the electoral politics as such. And so it became a sort of misfit, and she
Plus-
could not quite.
Plus, Delhi, the ruling dispensation in the Delhi municipal
MCD.
corporations is BJP. That was the biggest grouse against day-to-day grouse
Yes.
on sanitation, on health, and
And I want to.
I think this is the only election that was truly, we say that, all elections are Sadak Bijli Pani election, but this is the only election that was truly fought on Sadak Bijli Pani.
And
Delhi
that-
walas
that's
were
what I'm
saying.
saying.
and Kachra.
And Kachra. And Kachra.
And let's take this up further. You know what it means, and also the crazy obsession about this making this a referendum on the government.
That is
So
nonsense.
let's
yeah.
take this up.
No,
further.
you have to.
So yeah,
You
let's
have
see.
to understand that we have to take it in proper perspective.
Absolutely. But on a lighter note, all we always say that Delhi is overrated or it's a glorified municipality or something, and media is paying a lot of attention, which it doesn't need. But to a certain extent, we are doing the same thing. The results prompted a midweek podcast for us. Do you think if Assam had gone to polls, we would have done a midweek podcast?
Actually, that is something maybe at Mindmakers we can change.
Absolutely, that's
at
what I'm trying
Mindmakers
to
we
say.
can change.
That
Yeah.
just because you win a state or something, there is no election that is less important than others. Jharkhand is a
No,
far
if
bigger
there is any least important election, it's probably Delhi. But what does Delhi do? Delhi victory provided psychological victory to those who were hoping that Modi would not do as well or BJP would not do as well. This was a psychological
Is this a psychological victory or
of
डूबते को
sorts.
तिनके का सहारा?
Call it what you
And
may.
डूबता in this case is Congress.
Yeah, call what you may, but there is another thing important. We cannot completely dismiss it. If there is for BJP as a ruling party, if there is even one constituency, if there is even one dissatisfied area that they need to address, they should address if they are wanting to become a pan-India party.
So a party
yeah.
in power usually after it gets into power has
Right.
enough capacity to get feedback from the people who voted them into power. That
Yes.
I think has been missing both in Delhi
And
and at
I
the
have
national level.
I have spoken to hardcore BJP supporters, and they have each one of them. And when I spoke to them about the Delhi debacle, each one of them had one point, other than the fact that Delhi BJP started late, the strategy was missing till like 10 days before the election was, bound to happen. They told me that they were very unhappy with turncoats being taken in the party and given a position of prominence. Prominent among them were many people did not like Krishna Tirath being, inducted. Many people did not like Binny being inducted. There were many people who were very unhappy with Shazia Ilmi being inducted. They were saying, well, till a month ago, we were talking against Shazia Ilmi, and now she is in here. And BJP, and when I spoke to the other BJP people, they were saying, well, you can't stop anyone from primary membership. But the fact is that Shazia Ilmi did not just get primary membership. She was given a position of prominence. Even
No,
though
but
she was
Shazia did
given a
not
seat.
contest elections.
No, she did, but she was given a position of prominence. A lot of BJP supporters felt offended.
What? That
How can you take turncoats? Here is a person who was attacking BJP and Narendra Modi from 2014, her election thing.
But
so they were unhappy.
No. See, this is the
Krishna
thing.
Tirath stood there when the day she was inducted in BJP and said, I have been a supporter of BJP ideology all my life.
but-
I wanted to throw up when I saw that.
The point is, all throughout BJP's formative years and even leading up to last a month before the national elections, the whole euphoria was whether BJP is an untouchable party, whether it would allow people from other ideologies to come in and kind of become a melting pot. And I guess that is what they were trying to get at. Maybe they had extensive conversations. We don't know if they talked to Krishna Tirath or to Shazia Ilmi. That is my point, is that you effectively were ruling Delhi for 6 to 8 months, right up to the Delhi Assembly elections. At least the civic concerns of the people who have voted for you and given you 7 Lok Sabha seats should have been probably, feedback must have been sought. They were concentrating a little bit more on external policy or foreign affairs rather than looking at
Not
Delhi
just foreign
in
affairs.
terms
I
of-
mean,
And a big party like BJP should be able to do all.
It's not about that also. I think this was an oversight, to some extent also, that local issues were maybe not looked after or something. And I can sympathize that the government had a lot of priorities. I mean, India in the last 10 years was a mess. There were a lot of relationships with other countries that needed to be repaired.
No. No one is saying that one has to be done at the cost of other. Of course, the government has to do its business.
Right.
But then what was the BJP doing? There is a difference between the government
No. See, then you
and
cannot
BJP.
wish away that BJP still won a spectacular mandate in Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Haryana.
Close on the heels of 2014 elections,
No,
and maybe that rubbed in.
No, but 6 months after 2014. Come on,
this has been a year. It's been a year since you're looking at 90% strike rate and all the elections
Yeah.
conducted.
No, there is-
You
there
cannot
is
deny
no-
that.
No,
No,
what I'm
no.
saying is that, to just give a complete broad thing that BJP was not focusing on localized issues and only focusing on central government issues is not a correct picture. I'm saying there are multiple ways.
But why are you dismissing this fact that maybe state units of those states were paying attention to the
No,
local
I'm not
issues and
dismissing
state
it.
unit of
I'm
Delhi
not
unit is not
dismissing.
paying attention?
I'm saying it's a multitude of issues.
Sure, it is a
I
multitude of
also read
issues.
pieces saying that a particular caste did not vote for BJP and that's voted for Aam Aadmi Party and that's why they won.
That's
I mean,
not
this is
true.
ridiculous.
That is
you know.
ridiculous. That is just beating the bush, and
So-
that's one thing. One thing that is worse than defeat is getting wrong lessons from the defeat.
Absolutely. And then
So
you
that is
also
what we
had
should
the
not do.
commentators, saying stuff about, oh, development versus Hindutva, ye kya ho raha hai?
no.
In many
One
ways,
thing-
I'm happy that AAP won a decisive mandate because Delhi is the most impulsive city, having seen such rapid.
Here comes the disclaimer.
A lot of development that happened, urban infrastructure, and but at the same time, if in the next 2 or 3 years the Aam Aadmi Party is able to replicate that success at a state level, a state like Punjab, which Sunanda ji you have talked about many times,
Yes.
then that could be a serious concern, because here is a party that is also not banking on dynasty, that is not banking on a regional sort of affiliation, and also it's not a specific caste-based party. It is also evolving into an ideology, and although I say that because I am firmly rooted in one particular ideology, you cannot give them a pass that they don't have ideology at this point in time. You can usurp an ideology in no time.
Yeah.
At
No,
the-
AAP can become a left of center party in the future. It has all the
But
this
let's-
thing. It can be in a democracy, as BJP will occupy right of center spectrum.
First, let's clear this with,
if-
AAP is
if-
not a national phenomenon.
No, it isn't.
It is not.
No, it isn't.
You go in many cities, people
Yeah.
might tell you, know about the Aam Aadmi Party, talk about the issues
No.
they raise.
BJP has to do spectacularly something really wrong for AAP to get to that position, and I do not see that happening.
Right. And
with
no, what
Mr.
my
Modi,
problem is-
with
no,
Mr.
what-
Modi in the
no, no.
driver's seat and Amit Shah in the driver's seat, I do not see that
I
happening.
know, but what the problem is, when we say that AAP has the potential to, we are giving it the national stature that it has not yet achieved. So I don't think it's required or so right now to extend AAP's thing. Yes, they have won an excellent mandate in Delhi, but I do believe that
If I had to sum it up, I would say incompetence, lack of feedback from your supporters. That was something that was missing this time around. Starting the whole process of campaigning very late. These were some of the factors that were responsible. What BJP can do, and this is what Amit Shah knows very well, he knows not to listen to the op-ed commentators. And I hope he does not listen to op-ed commentators now also. I think this current unit of BJP is perfectly capable of understanding what went wrong and fully capable of correcting it. They do not listen.
They have to learn a lesson.
They have to learn a lesson.
Obviously have their own internal analysis done in terms
Yeah.
of what the state unit's contribution is going to be. And now the next biggest, two big things that will come up because of AAP, it will be the continued usage of Jantar Mantar and also the consistent demand for making a city state into a full-fledged state. And so that is what they are hinging on as their political ideology.
I'm glad you said a city state. There are rumors that we might have a deputy CM for a city state. I was horrified when I
where
heard
we can
that.
have only 7 ministers, right?
But apart from that, I think the first step to solving any problem is accepting it, and BJP has accepted with the problem with humility,
Yeah.
and there is some course correction, at least by the looks of it being done. I hope this debating, the churning that happens after this, is positive, and
there is another thing one has to understand. This is a vibrant democracy. Here you will win some, you will lose some.
Oh, and I
so
was,
one, we don't.
I
No one
proudly
needs to be
told to a lot
disheartened.
of my
anybody.
friends from other countries that this is a country where you have the ruling party who won a spectacular majority getting routed in a state assembly poll in the capital.
I don't know if you remember, Adit, about 8-9 months ago before the elections, I used to talk about BJP 2.0, RSS 2.0 and all of these concepts. That was attempted at a very last moment with Kiran Bedi. I think they should persist with her if she wants to continue instead of taking political sannyas and all that. She has the right kind of, I would say, intentions that has to be polished pretty well. And if they do a good job, I'm sure in another 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 months, they will be given another big opportunity. So we have talked about the reasons for the defeat on the BJP side, and obviously, a lot of good credit to the Aam Aadmi Party's electoral strategy. We have also talked about why BJP must have miscalculated or has miscalculated. Can we talk a little bit about how we perceive the new Delhi government could be and what their vision might look like, and when it gets to implementation, what kind of stumbling blocks they will probably see?
Look no further than West Bengal.
But
Are you
West
talking about
Bengal
left
is
or the left of the left, which is Mamata Banerjee?
that is in heaven. Left of left is heaven.
No, actually, what I think is that Arvind Kejriwal he's become smarter this time. He is not going to, he has promised 5 saal Kejriwal, so we know that this is going to last more than 49 days. That is for sure. And plus, he is not going to do anything that will jeopardize his position there. What he is going to do very smartly, take all the credit for that, the central government or anything he's doing, and everything he's not able to do, he's going to place the blame on the BJP's door. I think that is going to be his strategy.
I think in a city state, again, Delhi's template is that unless you are in 2 out of 3 of those municipal corporations, you cannot affect that much change.
Yeah.
Number 2, the template for a city-based governance at the state level does not exist, because he cannot go and tout those figures because obviously it is going to be centrally controlled in terms of
No, and I'll give you some examples. I was watching the results today. I don't know which channel was. One of the supporters was saying कि केजरीवाल सबको college में admission दिला देगा. I mean, now the issues that people have elected for, a lot of them are, some of them are municipal issues, some of them are not beyond the purview of the Delhi government, and they have said ये हो जाएगा. पर कैसे होगा भाई?
I know the ordinary Delhi wala voted for Bijli Sadak Pani, and in Delhi there is this huge, even though it's a capital city, the problem is for Delhi wala still struggle for Bijli, Delhi wala still struggle for Pani, Delhi wala still struggle for good roads. So this is something that is outside his purview, the roads, for example.
But then his
and
solution to
thing.
that is giving free water, subsidized water,
No.
stuff
The
like
reason
that.
why I don't have that much of high hopes in the long-term survival of their plan is, let's just take 2 examples. One, if they succeed, which means they can't replicate that model across anywhere else because the city-state like Delhi doesn't exist. Number 2, if they fail, all the hopes and aspirations of an entire generation of people that wanted to think beyond the BJP and Congress will be dashed to the ground. And at that point, hopefully there will be a template that the BJP or the Congress or any other political alignment is able to offer. I think the next big test is whether they are able to win in MCD, then Punjab, and obviously try to, they were talking about Bangalore local elections and try to fight some similar municipal councils and all that. And if they are able to deliver on at least half of the civic promises, they are lucky if they can win back Delhi. But they can't talk about Delhi outside of India. At least if you have a big state.
Biggest challenge and biggest task for BJP also is to arrest AAP from spreading to other places and keep them to Delhi, keep them
But
focused
that's
in
not
Delhi.
a political point, which obviously for them, they are not going to get so much mind space and media attention if they're out of. I'm not saying that is a contributing factor, but that is certainly, that is a contributing factor, but that's not the only reason for the BJP's loss. So the thing is, they are not going to get the same media space if they go to Ahmedabad or if they go to Pune and fight. Probably the national media will cover it more than what they would cover
a local party or something. Yeah.
But right now Aam Aadmi Party is still a very regional party.
It's a Delhi party. It's not even a region. I mean, Delhi is.
What is amazing is that now that the victory is done, congratulations to them, the celebrations are done. I don't find any media person or not a whole lot of media organization challenging their vision or asking them that what are they going to do for Delhi. Beyond the platitudes, acha, ye kar diya, ye hum log ye karenge, khushhali aayegi, all that things sab bol diya. But on the ground, how are you going to do it?
Also, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the defeat. I do think that BJP has to work very hard in outer Delhi. That was something that gave them plenty of seats earlier. But BJP did lose this time the Purvanchali vote and the Jat vote. That is something.
Delhi, I think 21 seats or something, and they got wiped out.
The simplest structural problem I see is he's going to be the chief minister of Delhi and also the national president of a political party. How is that going to work?
And beyond him, there is no
Number
AAP.
2, if Yogendra Yadav is going to be the national president, then they will not even win Punjab. So there has to be a number 3. Will they allow a number 3 to come in? That is the number 2 structural.
No, and the fact that he
Number
needed
4,
a deputy CM. Yeah.
he needed a deputy CM he could slyly, kind of get him involved, and then he will run around as the Delhi chief minister in Hyderabad. Hyderabadis don't like Delhi chief minister coming and talking about Hyderabad issue. Has to be a national president. This is a huge structural mess.
Yeah.
And people of Delhi, whose impatience has led to this victory, that impatience will start showing immediately because
Acha, Hyderabad mein, I think Asaduddin Owaisi declared his support for Aam Aadmi
Yeah.
Party.
he won't allow.
So that's what I'm
Hoping that AAP stays in Delhi and doesn't come to Hyderabad.
So that's what.
आपके बहुत से बाप हैं. Everywhere else in the country, they
Yes.
won't allow. These are no-go zones for if he thinks.
No, I would love to see just how I was touched at how Nitish Kumar, gave his one MLA, Shoaib Iqbal. But Shoaib Iqbal also went over to Congress, but he gave his support to Aam Aadmi Party. Do you think they'll come to Bihar?
No.
This is a very big problem.
And Bihar has far more problems than Delhi. Security.
But it has given much needed oxygen for the media, which will now concentrate exclusively because they'll keep getting inside information that they were not getting.
I
from
think I don't
BJP.
remember which.
How are you so sure about that?
I know because there's no
How do you
information
know?
is being given. I know because there is nothing like.
No, I'm saying, how do you know they're going to get it now?
Because this is a fueled, kind of movement by the media.
Acha, I thought you meant they're going to get it now from the BJP.
No.
No.
From the
That's why I was like, is Pramod breaking some news on the podcast today?
What I think the media strategy is going to be for the next 3 or 4 years is to have, because all these years, last 2 or 3 years, they were debunking idea of Modi. So they were pitting it against idea of India versus idea of Modi, somehow saying that idea of Modi is not, their idea of Modi and idea of India is not something that can gel together. Now they are going to pit idea of Modi versus idea of Kejriwal. That is something they are going to spend next 2 or 3 years working on.
If they say that a party supported in the poll by CPI, ML, Asaduddin Owaisi's party,
That is idea of India.
That is idea of India. Then
But that is idea of India, you know it.
No, it has also given a big fillip to the BJP's quest for trying to find space of its own in the media, because I have seen that reluctance in the BJP, both the central leadership and also in the Sangh, to publicize their work.
That's a very important point.
They have to come out of this cocoon. They cannot expect good work only to do the talking for
Yes.
them. If they don't trust the existing media, they should go and probably have
Communication. I think a whole, as they say, proverbial 10,000, Helen of Troy launched 10,000 ships or whatever. 10,000 op-eds were launched about Narendra Modi's suit. Somebody said it was 10 lakh, somebody said it was 10 crore, somebody said something. Turned out that it was just a gift for
but
something.
after all the damage was done.
But after all the damage was done, Times of India actually even issued an apology, but much after the damage was done.
Absolutely.
So that is why I said the communication also was missing. There has to be a constant communication from BJP to the people. If there are these, because these landmines will exist. They're not going to go anywhere. Just because you are in power, don't expect landmines to go away.
Communication should be there. There should be a clear line also of communication to the cadre as well as to the voter.
Yes.
I mean, and then you have to realize that the cadre is going to take your vision to the voter.
Yes.
So, a loop needs
You
to be
have
created.
to
create
This is the
alternative
only-
sources of media.
This is the only election where I saw cadre confused. Till the last day, the cadre was confused about everything.
Because I philosophically believe this as well. Between two अच्छे दिन there is a बुरी रात. Okay? In that
That's a
बुरी
good
रात,
one.
the media
Beautifully put.
always operates from Noida. You have to understand that every defeat there will be a victory. After that victory, there could be a
No one's
outstanding
denying
defeat.
that. We are talking about, but the victory is not going to come automatically. We are saying, how to pick up the pieces after the defeat, and word in also that.
And also, don't lose the narrative.
Yeah,
Don't lose the
on a
narrative.
lighter note, a word for the 3 brave people, including Vijender Gupta, who managed to brave the Aam Aadmi
Yes,
Party wave and won.
yes.
So, I mean, I hope.
I hope they nurture their
they nurture
constituencies.
and-
Yeah.
And they've all been doing good work. So,
And the 7 MPs who were there, I hope they nurture their constituencies as well.
right. So on that note, that was our post-mortem, or I dare say, analysis on the Delhi elections. I hope we provided a different perspective from apart from what you'd been hearing on TV studios by overexcited anchors, expect at the prospect of an Aam Aadmi Party victory or something.
But we wish them all the best.
Yes.
They have to provide a very good alternative and also a competition.
Absolutely.
Like a good friend of mine said, if Modi does not get the competition, there is basically.
I mean, let's get it straight. I and both of you, I know, we are all proud of India's vibrant democracy, and AAP's win only proves that case. And we hope that they do well. It's just we share skepticism, and if they prove our skepticisms wrong, well and good for the people of Delhi. I dare say, the future holds a very interesting prospect.
As a matter of courtesy, I think we should speak one line about Congress.
No, I think that
that's it.
That's it. So I think that sums it up. And we couldn't have chose a better way to end the podcast. You'll be hearing more from us on various issues, and we'd look forward to your opinion. Please follow us at MYINDMAKERS. Till the next time, this is me, Adit Kapadia, Pramod Kumar Boravalli, and Sunanda Vashish signing off. Good night, and all of you guys have a great day.
Thank you.